Give you a little background. Brother Walsh was disfellowshipped. I'm trying to think, 15 years ago, right? And so didn't really have a desire to come back. Things happen. And so we're going to kind of start the stage here in 2013, because 2012, Special Metropolitan Witness started in Zone 1 by Michigan Avenue, and then it progressed. We didn't have Zone 2. We went right to Zone 3 at Union Station. And so we were inside with the table. So first of all, Brother Wash, what did you think when you first saw the table set up by that flower shop on the basement floor of Union Station?
Well, I work in Union Station. I've been an employee at Union Station roughly at that time for about 8 years. So, as Brother Tessel mentioned, I was disfellowshipped at that time. Started going out to get coffee one morning, starting work. I run into the witnesses. See the witnesses at the table right by the flower station there. And me being out the truth for that period of time, I didn't know what was going on. I thought they were selling cookies. I didn't know what So I kind of looked at them. I was like, wow, those look like witnesses. So I just walked on. And I came back down the escalator, saw them again. And throughout that period of time, I would go outside, or I would go around the station. I would see them inside. Then I think maybe a year later, I started seeing them outside. I would go outside and eat my lunch, and I would kind of, not kind of be in their line of vision, but I would kind of sit off to the side, and I would just watch them.
So did you people watch you? So kind of keep in mind. So the second question then, you had mentioned seeing the friends working at the carts made you feel good. Why did it make you feel good?
I would see so many different faces, just like I'm seeing right now. I would see, being familiar with the truth, I knew that we were in pretty much all over the world, as far as languages, as far as races, and so forth. So to see the friends at the station, to see them just conversing with each other, to see the smiles on their faces, those things started to stir something in me. I didn't really know what it was at the time, but I knew that every day, for the most part, I was seeking them out. Just, walking by them and just to see their faces. And it just kind of gave me a sense of peace and some feeling of something that I just wanted to engage in again.
And so I just think of that comment. So just watching the friends at the cart, being loyal to their assignment, made you feel good.
Absolutely. I mean, I would see, sometimes I would run into friends that, of course, I knew and that knew me. So that was always kind of an uneasy moment at times. But, I would always walk by, see them, and see them, their smiles on their faces. They would sometimes be conversing with each other or conversing with somebody who was passing by. And it really made me feel like that was something that I just wanted to be a part of again. I felt at that time, that I was trying to make my way back to the truth, but seeing those friends around the station, inside the station and outside, really was a motivation.
Excellent. So I think you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what in particular did you notice when you watched the pioneers? What in particular?
I noticed a lot of things. I noticed the smiles. I noticed that they were diligent. I noticed, because I would see some, on a regular basis. I noticed that there was joy. I took note of the way they were dressed. I took note of everything. And everything that I saw was just a reminder of what I had once been a part of, what I had lost.
That's really powerful. And then how did that make you feel inside?
Lost. I felt like that was something that initially I knew that it was something that I was missing, that something was missing from my own life. And so as time went on, it started to make me feel really positive, make me feel that I really wanted to re-energize myself and get myself back into the organization. And it's really led to my starting to do that.
Excellent. So I know some time went by, job change, economic setback, and so someone would borrow you a car if you would drive them down to Hammond, Indiana, I think at the train station too, right? You worked there? So what happened there? Can you kind of like maybe summarize that part?
Sure. Once I had made the decision to try to get myself back together and come back to the organization, I prayed to Jehovah about it. Things were at a low point for me financially. I didn't have a car. And one of my classmates, who I would, keep in contact with, she said, Jerry, can you drop me off at the train station in the morning? I had a part-time job that I had, didn't know how I was going to get there. She said, well, you can drop me off at the train station in the morning, keep my car all day long, and then in the evening, just pick me up and drop me back off at home. And I was like, what? I don't do that. That seemed like it was such a big thing for her to offer. But I started doing that. And so that enabled me to get to my job, and enabled me to start even going to the meetings. Once I prayed about that, she said, why don't you keep the car? And next morning, just pick me up. It's like, I don't want to do that, but I still, was motivated to do that. So while I was dropping her off at the train station, I would see the friends engaging in the metropolitan witnessing there. So now I had a dilemma in front of me. I was like, okay, I knew I lived in Hammond. I knew that there were congregations and kingdom halls in Hammond. How am I going to find out the information that I need to know? So I finally got up the courage one day as I was dropping her off, and as her train pulled off, I got out the car and I approached two of the friends and asked them. I told them initially, of course, that I was disfellowship, but I wanted to know what time the meetings were.
That's powerful. And then what happened? What developed after that?
They gave me the information that I needed. I started going to the meetings. I think that first week, that first meeting I went to, I sat in the car for about 15 minutes, just petrified. Didn't know what to do. I, prayed to Jehovah. I kept trying to get out the car. It seemed like something was just holding me back, but I finally made it into the Kingdom Hall, and it was pretty much just a smooth transition. I started, making all the meetings. One of the elders approached me. I told him what was going on. And within, I would say about roughly a couple of months, 6 months maybe at the most, I was reinstated.
Doesn't that move you? It invigorates your soul, the bones, and so we appreciate your fine comments. Thank you so much.